The conference room on the 32nd floor felt like a pressure cooker. 50 employees sat shoulder to shoulder around the long U-shaped table and in rows of chairs against the walls, their faces pale under the harsh LED lights. The quarterly results presentation glowed on the massive screen behind the podium, but the numbers everyone was staring at now weren't the ones on the slides. They were the red, glaring figure at the bottom, negative $8.9 million. My boss, Victor Langford, stood at the front in his tailored charcoal suit, jaw tight, eyes scanning the room like a predator looking for prey. I sat 3 rows back, heart hammering so hard I could feel it in my throat. My hands were clasped so tightly in my lap that my knuckles had gone white. I already knew what was coming. I had known since last night when the internal audit report landed in my inbox with my name highlighted in bold yellow. Victor cleared his throat, microphone amplifying the sound until it filled every corner of the silent room. As most of you know, we suffered a catastrophic loss this quarter. $8.9 million. Gone. And it happened because someone on my team failed to catch a critical error in the Meridian acquisition contract. Someone who was supposed to double-check every clause. His gaze locked directly on me. Someone I trusted. 50 heads turned in my direction. The weight of their stares pressed down on me like concrete. My cheeks burned. Sarah from finance looked away in pity. Marcus from legal stared at the table. No one spoke. The suspense thickened the air until breathing felt difficult. Victor continued, voice rising with practiced outrage. This mistake cost us the deal, cost us our bonuses, and nearly cost us our reputation. Jenna here, he pointed straight at me, was responsible for the final review. I trusted her with it. And she let an entire paragraph about liability limits slip through. So yes, I'm placing the blame where it belongs. Jenna, would you care to stand up and explain to everyone why we're all staring at an $8.9 million hole in our numbers? The room went deathly quiet. My pulse roared in my ears. For 3 long, suffocating seconds, I stayed seated, humiliation and rage warring inside my chest. I had worked under Victor for 4 years. I had cancelled vacations, missed my sister's wedding, worked until 3 a.m. more times than I could count. All because I believed in the company. Believed in him. And now he was throwing me to the wolves to save his own skin. Slowly, I pushed my chair back. The scrape of metal on tiles sounded impossibly loud. I stood. My legs felt unsteady, but I forced them to carry me down the aisle between the chairs until I stood at the front of the room, directly facing all 50 of my colleagues. Victor's eyebrows rose slightly, surprised I had actually come forward. A small, satisfied smirk tugged at his lips. I looked at him for a long moment, letting the silence stretch until it became unbearable. Then I turned to face the room. $8.9 million, I said, my voice quieter than I expected but steady. That's what we lost. And Victor is right about one thing. Someone is responsible. I paused, letting the words settle. But it wasn't me. A ripple of surprise moved through the crowd. Victor's smirk faltered. I reached into the folder I had carried in with me and pulled out a thick stack of printed emails and timestamped documents. My hands no longer shook. On March 12, Victor personally instructed me via email to remove the liability limitation clause because, and I quote, "it makes us look weak and will kill the negotiation." I told him it was dangerous. I warned him 3 separate times. Here are the emails. I held up the first page, projecting it onto the screen behind me using the spare laptop I had quietly connected. The email chain appeared in giant letters for everyone to read. Victor's face went pale. I was overruled, I continued, voice gaining strength as months of swallowed anger finally broke free. He told me if I didn't make the change immediately, he would find someone who would. So I documented everything. Every single instruction. Every warning I sent. Every time he ignored me. Because I knew this would blow up. My voice cracked with emotion, but I pushed through, tears burning at the corners of my eyes. I have sacrificed everything for this company. I missed my mother's last birthday because Victor needed the projections done that weekend. I worked through my own health issues because he said the team was counting on me. And when his decision cost us nearly $9 million, he decided to stand here and throw me under the bus in front of all of you. I turned back to Victor. The room was so quiet I could hear the hum of the air conditioning. You blamed me because you're terrified, I said directly to him, no longer caring who heard. You're terrified that the board will finally see what I've seen for years, that you make reckless calls, then look for someone else to take the fall. But I'm done being your shield, Victor. I'm done protecting a man who throws his own team to the wolves the moment it benefits him. Tears slipped down my cheeks now, but they weren't tears of weakness. They were years of quiet endurance finally breaking free. So here's what I came here to say in front of all 50 of you. I have already sent the complete documentation to the board, to HR, and to our external auditors. Every email. Every meeting recording. Every late-night text where you told me to just make it work. I protected this company by protecting the truth. And if that means I lose my job today, then at least I'll walk out with my integrity intact. The silence that followed was heavier than any I had ever felt. Victor's mouth opened, but no words came out. His face had gone from pale to an ugly shade of red. Someone in the back started slow clapping. Then another. Then more. Within seconds, nearly the entire room was applauding, the sound rising like thunder around me. Victor stepped forward, voice sharp and desperate. This is completely out of line. Jenna, you're fired. Security will escort you. No, came a calm voice from the side door. We all turned. Richard Caldwell, the CEO, stood there with two board members behind him. He had clearly been listening the entire time. Victor, I think that's enough. Jenna, please stay. Everyone else, we're going to take a short break while we sort this out. The room began to empty, people giving me nods of respect, quiet murmurs of support, even a few grateful touches on my arm as they passed. Victor remained frozen at the podium, looking suddenly small in his expensive suit. I stood there, breathing hard, tears still falling, but my spine straight. The emotional storm inside me was overwhelming: relief, rage, grief for the years I had wasted believing in the wrong leader, and a fierce, burning pride that I had finally spoken the truth. The suspense of what would happen next still hung in the air, but for the first time in years, I wasn't afraid of it. Victor finally looked at me, eyes cold with hatred and fear. You just ruined your career, he hissed under his breath. I met his gaze without flinching. No, Victor. I just saved it. And maybe saved everyone else from you. As the last few people filed out, the CEO motioned for me to join him. I walked past my now former boss without another glance, head high, heart pounding with the kind of raw, alive feeling that only comes after you've risked everything and refused to break. In that single, electric moment in front of 50 witnesses, I had gone from scapegoat to the only person willing to tell the truth. The $8.9 million mistake wasn't mine. And now, everyone knew it.